So a little late night streaming for everybody that's interested right now. I can't sleep that much tonight, so let's talk. What do you think? So a little late night streaming for everybody that's interested right now. I can't sleep that much tonight, so let's talk. What do you think? So a little late night streaming for everybody that's interested right now. I can't sleep that much tonight. Let's talk. How's everybody doing? What do you think? What's up, guys? Yeah, I know there's a reverb. I fixed it just now. Can you guys hear me? Are we good? Just checking. So how's everybody? What are you guys up to? Talk to me. Shoot me some questions. What do you guys want to talk about? We can shoot the shit for a little bit. I'm going to be up for probably about 40 minutes, maybe an hour. So we'll see how it goes. Hey, Brez Boy. Thanks, man. Yeah, I love Pluto. Pluto is fantastic. And if you've never read any of his other works, 20th Century Boys, I've harped on that like a million times already. Eddie, you're playing Bloodborne. Bloodborne is fantastic. I love Bloodborne. I still need to finish the DLC of that, man. Ooh. Bloodborne was one of those games that it freaked me out the first time I played it. Spoilers for Bloodborne, it's like a year old. But when you turn your head around in the camera and you see that big Cthulhu monster staring at you, I was like, holy shit! It freaked me out, man. Ugh. I probably shouldn't even be up right now because I have work in the morning, but I wanted to do a little bit of streaming tonight since I wasn't able to put up a video for you guys. Do I like witches? Yeah, I do. I do like witches. Jock's art in witches for me, though, is a bit hit and miss. I wasn't crazy about the splotchiness of it. I think Jock's art is fantastic on its own, but the fact that they decided to just throw splotches all over the place in Jock's art just completely messed it up for me. I did not care for that style at all. Yeah, I know Witches is getting a sequel, and I'm looking forward to it. It's coming out next year. I just really hope that they clean up. I really hope they clean up the art on that because it was really so disappointing for me to just open up the pages and I'm like, oh, Jock is such a great artist. What is he doing with this coloring? Ugh. Do I know any series that is similar to Monster by Urasawa? Good question, man. Monsters is such a gem for me. I think a great series that you should pick up, and it's actually a fiction book. It's not a comic or a manga. It's Devil in the White City, which is basically set in the Chicago World's Fair, and it follows around one of the biggest serial killers during that time. It's a fascinating read, and it's a fiction story. It's based on a true story, and the way it's written is awesome. So if you're looking for a really solid book to read, Devil in the White City is good. Now, if you're looking for something along the lines of Urasawa's Monster in TV form, there's always True Detective. You can always read that. Any interest getting an artist edition? Timothy Johns. I have had a few interests in getting a few artist editions. Obviously, some of the Jack Kirby stuff, some of the Hellboy artist editions are great. But for the most part, they're so overpriced and they take up so much space. And I have a small apartment that I really don't have any room for something like that at the moment, and I really don't have the budget to be spending for something like that. Like if I want something right now, I want to be able to read it. And artist editions, they're good, they're fun, they look awesome on shelves, and they're gorgeous to have, but they're so overpriced that I just can't see myself investing in it. What's up, Dean? Omni brother? Which TV series am I watching? Yeah, for those of you that are wondering, also DiCaprio is going to play H.H. Holmes in Devil in the White City pretty soon. I can't wait to see that. What TV series am I watching right now? I'm trying to finish up The Flash season 1. What else am I watching right now? I'm not really watching too much TV at the moment. I'm trying to get caught up on a lot of my reading. What is the price of the Walking Dead compendium? I know they were selling it for a huge deal recently. It was like for both compendiums, you were paying something like 30 bucks online somewhere. Most of the time, the compendiums will run you about 48 bucks, I think, online, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's like 30 bucks, 30, 48 bucks. You like Arrow more than The Flash? Really? You are one of the first people that I have ever met that has actually said that. I think, okay, I've seen about half of Arrow season 1. Now, I've heard Arrow gets a lot better as it goes along, but I was just not a fan of Arrow, man. I could not get into it at all, dude. I have tried so much. I just couldn't get into it. Have I read Batman 66? No, I haven't. In honor of Kirby's birthday, what is your favorite work of his? My favorite work of Jack Kirby would have to be his Fantastic Four run. Jack Kirby's Fantastic Four is friggin' awesome. He is the king for a reason, and the art inside of that run is absolutely beautiful stuff. If you have a chance to pick up the omnibuses, because I have a feeling they're not going to be reprinting a lot of the Fantastic Four omnibuses that much. A lot of that stuff seems to be going out of print. Yeah, most of the Fantastic Four stuff, for some reason, is going out of print, and I think that's because the movies didn't do that well, and Marvel is basically trying to write them out of continuity for the time being. If you notice, Reed Richards isn't there, Sue Storm isn't there, the kids aren't there. The only people that are there are Thing and the Human Torch, which arguably are the two most popular in the mainstream media of the Fantastic Four characters, so that wouldn't make sense why they are still around. Let's see. Take it easy, Dawsonness. What are you picking up for 9-7 on this trade? Is the Amazing Spider-Man Omnibus Volume 2 is getting reprinted this week. No, not this. Next week. Next week, yeah. I'm probably gonna end up picking that up because I get paid this week. Thank God. I haven't been paying attention too much to what Image is putting out next month, mainly because of the fact that I've said this before. Image puts out something new like every other week. So if you give me a list of some of the stuff Image is putting out next week, sure. Absolutely, I'll tell you what I'm interested in, but for the most part, I just pick up stuff as it comes out. Right now, my interests are strictly on collected editions, mainly because of the fact that I don't have the budget right now to buy a lot of single issues. I'm mainly just buying a lot of DC Rebirth stuff because that stuff has really been fun. And I like what Image does with hardcover collections, and the stuff they tend to put out is really, really good. Absolutely fantastic stuff. I mean, take a look at some of the other Image hardcovers that have been out. The Fatale hardcovers are beautiful. The Chew oversized deluxe editions are absolutely beautiful. I can't wait for that stuff. You need some good Justice to read. Dragon Ball's deep. I need some good Justice League stories to read. Which ones should I check out? There are tons and tons of Justice League stuff that you should check out. I recommend Jeff Johns' New 52 stuff actually isn't that bad. It's pretty good, but once it starts hitting the crossover event with Aquaman, that's when it gets very, very good. If you're looking for a more classic take on the Justice League, Jeff Johns' JLA, the 3 omnibuses that are out there, fantastic. I've reviewed 2 of the 3 so far, and I loved every single moment of it. I think they're some of the best Justice League stories that are out there right now. Those are great. Let me think. Grant Morrison's Justice League run. Another great run. However, it is a bit dated. You're getting Mullet Superman. This was done in the late 90s, early 2000s. So if you're not a fan of Mullet Superman and a little bit of the dated artwork, nah, not that great. It really, you're not gonna like that too much. Then there's the classic Justice League. They're releasing a lot of that stuff in omnibuses. There's a bunch of stuff that's out there, dude. What did I think of Darkseid Wars? I haven't read Darkseid Wars. I've wanted to, and I haven't gotten a chance to read it. What are my whales/whalets right now? For those of you that don't know, a whale or a whalet is essentially when you're collecting omnibuses and you're collecting hardcovers and something goes out of print and it becomes ridiculously hard to find and you don't own it and you want it, we call that a whale in terms. Right now, the thing that I'm hunting the most, and I've said this before, is the Annihilation Omnibus. And the reason behind me trying to hunt down an Annihilation Omnibus is because last year when I was in a lot of financial issues, I was depressed, I was going through a breakup, I had sold off a huge chunk of my collection, hence the reason why I don't do collection videos right now, because really there's nothing to show. I have books, it's just there's not too much to show. And I ended up selling a huge chunk of my collection. And the thing that I hated to sell the most, and I parted with it for such a cheap price, was the Annihilation Omnibus. God, that freaking killed me to sell. Honestly, I want it back so bad. And if anybody has any leads to an Annihilation Omnibus that won't cost me my left leg, I would really appreciate that right now. Acidic UK. Hey man, I've recently gotten into comics on your channel and have been great at recommending some stuff for me. I've just finished hardcover 2 of Preacher and it's blowing my mind, right? Right? How great is Preacher, man? It picks up. I told you guys. Preacher starts off really slow, but once you start getting into the second trade, it shoots off, man. Have I read Gantz? No, I have not. I've been wanting to read Gantz for a while though. Am I gonna buy the Grant Morrison X-Men omnibus that's getting reprinted? I am not actually. Despite the fact that I love Grant Morrison's run on the X-Men, I have all the Ultimate Collection trade paperbacks, and I really don't see any reason for me to upgrade to the omnibus format for that edition. Now, I know it went out of print a few years ago, and fans have been clamoring for that to come back, and it finally has. But really, for me, I really don't have any interest in picking it up since I have the 3 Ultimate Collections. Yeah, a lot of people in the chat, some of the people in the chat right now are saying, yes, Annihilation, we want to reprint. There have been, I know there's been talks. I know there's been talks and rumors of an Annihilation reprint. In the Omnibus Facebook group, somebody asked somebody from the higher-ups at Marvel, and they posted the tweet, hey, is there any talks of a Annihilation Omnibus reprint? And he basically said, the person that was tweeted to said, yes, there has been talks, and I brought it up to the higher-ups. Which really, why wouldn't you reprint Annihilation with the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 coming out next year? That's just a given. You would sell so many of them. Okay. Greetings from Peru. Hey, Joda. Hey, how's it going, man? I've always wanted to visit Peru. Tyler Clausen. Hey, what's up, buddy? How you doing, man? Star Wars or Star Trek? I am a Star Wars fan. Nothing against you Trek guys out there. I'm a big fan of Star Wars more than Star Trek. Star Trek is good if you're into like the exploration stuff and you're into kind of exploring new worlds and examining characters and politics and things like that. But if you just want a straight up nice space opera story that is just fun and a lot of crap blows up, then you just go for Star Wars. What is a book you were expecting to like but didn't by Timothy Johns? I read through Annihilation Conquest and thought it was pretty boring. You know, Annihilation Conquest is not, in my opinion, Annihilation Conquest isn't as strong as Annihilation. And I think Annihilation, the problem is that Annihilation set the bar so high that jumping into it right after Annihilation, you're going, yeah, this is okay. But for the most part, it's just not as interesting as Annihilation is. And it just kind of feels like, yeah, we just need another event here, and it sets up a lot of stuff. I agree with you. I didn't think Conquest was a strong follow-up to Annihilation. In my mind, Annihilation still is one of those events that is so great and it's so grand in scale, and they nailed it so right. Fun fact, by the way, Annihilation actually took place at the same time as Marvel's Civil War event, and Annihilation got buried in that stuff. While the heroes in Civil War were fighting it out during that event, Annihilation was taking place in space, and Richard Rider comes down after the events of Annihilation, and he sees what's going on in Civil War, and he basically says, you guys are idiots. You guys are fighting this dumb little war here on Earth. Meanwhile, I was in the stars fighting the galaxy. It is one of the greatest, yes, and it's one of the greatest commentaries from a writer that I've ever said, because they don't bury it. They are flat out saying in those panels, yeah, you know what, Civil War was okay, but what we were doing was a lot better than Civil War, and nobody was paying attention to it. What is a book you were expecting to like but didn't? I read through that. Okay, yeah, same question. To answer your question, actually, what is the book that I was expecting to like but didn't? I was expecting to like Jimmy Corrigan. I had heard so much hype behind Chris Ware's work. I had heard so much hype behind Jimmy Corrigan and everything that he did behind Building Stories, and I could not slog through Jimmy Corrigan. I couldn't slog through Building Stories. I just couldn't get through it. I found Chris Ware's writing to be absolutely dull and absolutely boring, and I've gone on this rant a million times before, and I can keep going on this rant, but I think that Chris Ware is a great draftsman. He does a lot of great things with line work, but for the most part, his writing is dull as can be. Did I see today's episode of Dragon Ball Super? No, I have not, and I would appreciate it if you keep it spoiler free. I spent most of the day hanging out with my girlfriend, and we did a lot of cool stuff since we're playing a movie. Dean, thank you for all the hard work that goes into this channel. You've helped me as hey, thanks, man. Yeah, I appreciate it. I love doing this stuff. I think you gotta have you kind of have to have a strange work ethic to be doing YouTube channels and to be doing YouTube videos and to have them consistently updating. Because what I've noticed is that you have a lot of great YouTube channels, a lot of great startups. It's just that they want that overnight success. They want that video that's just going to get them to just the top of the hits. You know, they want that video that, yes, I got 100,000 subscribers just off this one video. And I don't think that's the way to go about it. And now I'm getting into YouTube discussion and stuff like that. And I don't think that's the way to go about it. I think the best way to do it is to build up your audience gradually. You get the people that you want into your channel, and if the quality is there, and if you keep updating and you're constant with it, people will gravitate to it. I mean, I've been doing this for 2 years. Yeah, this is going on my second year right now, and I'm only at 5,000 subscribers. But right now is actually when I'm getting the most traffic and the most subscribers that I've ever gotten on my channel. Hey, how's it going, Live to Rock? Have I read Vinland Saga? No, I have not. Goku or Vegeta? Vegeta. I'm a Vegeta fan, and that dude got robbed in that last movie. Have I bought a hardcover that has an amazing story, but the hardcover edition was really disappointing? Diego Maria Cardona. Ooh, yeah, absolutely. Spider-Verse. Spider-Verse was a train wreck. If you go back and look at my review, that is probably the only book that I've ever reviewed on this channel that I have flat out said, it's a great story, however, do not pick up this hardcover edition. It is out of order. It's a mess put together. It's horrible. Just the way that story is organized in that hardcover edition is terrible, terrible, terrible. It's so disappointing because Spider-Verse could be one of those hardcovers that is legendary. It could have been one of those things where they put it up together as a nice presentation and a nice package, but they dropped the ball, and I hated that for it. Thanks, Tyler. I've been reading a lot of Jeff Lemire's original work, Underwater Welder, The Nobody, and love them. Do you have any recommendations for a book like this, more personal, of pure action instead of pure action? Yes, I recommend you pick out. I have a few books actually. You can pick out if you want a personal book. What Blankets, Habibi, and I can't remember for some reason the writer's name on Blankets and Habibi right now. Pick up those books. Those are great. If you want a historical fiction book that is a really great read, pick up Rasputin, which is really good as well. And what else? What else am I going to say? Day Tripper. Pick up Day Tripper. Day Tripper is amazing. I recommended Day Tripper on my last live stream, and it's absolutely fantastic stuff, man. Craig Thompson, that's the writer of Blankets. Yes, that's the one, man. Hey, Runaway. Have I read Sex Criminals? Yes, I love Sex Criminals. But Sex Criminals has been on a hiatus for a while, hasn't it? Like, what issue is Sex Criminals even on? Matt Fraction's one of those guys that he's a mixed bag for me. Sometimes he can write really great stuff, and sometimes he can write stuff that I'm just like, it didn't work for me. Sex Criminals was one of those things that it's really great. He lost me a lot in the second arc, though. I think the second arc of Sex Criminals isn't as strong as the first arc, and that's really rather disappointing for me. And then he took a long hiatus. What he's doing, I really don't know at this point, because I don't think he's really doing too many other things aside from a lot of his image work, and a lot of that stuff seems to be on hiatus most of the time. So I don't know how the guy's making money. Maybe he's doing the con circuit or something. Yes. Noxie Nation, you should definitely be reading Sweet Tooth. Sweet Tooth is fantastic. For those of you that are wondering, Sweet Tooth is Jeff Lemire's post-apocalyptic story, where these human hybrid animals have taken up the earth and they overpower humans. They don't overpower humans necessarily; they outnumber humans. It's a really, really, really great story. It's actually really sad too. Looking for Annihilation just within the states or to save on shipping. Yeah, I mean, preferably in the States. However, if I can get a great deal on Annihilation, I'll take it from anywhere. It doesn't matter. I've been dying to get my hands on it. I just don't have that much cash right now. Go figure. My second favorite, my top 5 favorite comic writers. That was a video I was going to plan on doing. My top 5 favorite comic writers right now. Oh man, off the top of my head, Garth Ennis. Oh shit, Garth Ennis, Darwyn Cooke. Man, let me think real quick. Can I throw in Jack Kirby? Because Jack Kirby is mostly known for his art, not his writing. But a huge argument can be made that a lot of that Fantastic Four stuff was written by Jack Kirby and not Stan Lee, despite the fact that what Stan Lee would have you believe. Let me think. So we've got Garth Ennis, Darwyn Cooke, Brian K. Vaughan. And I'm gonna have to get back to you on the other 3. Those are on the other 2. Those are my top 3 right now favorite writers at the moment. Live to Rock. I read The Hawkeye. Personally loved it more for Aja's artwork and Kate Bishop than the story is first. Yeah, the real strong point of that Hawkeye run is definitely going to be Aja's artwork, more so than Matt Fraction's writing. I couldn't stand Kate Bishop in that run. I actually kind of found Kate Bishop to be pretty annoying throughout that whole run, and I just didn't care about her story, whatever she was doing in California at the time. It didn't really, it didn't really appeal to me. Harold Lauder, opinions on comic book cast post Joel and Matt. Sure, I'll give you my opinion. I don't think I'll ever be on this show anyway. I think comic book cast took a huge dive after Joel and Matt left. I'm being completely honest. That to me was the heart of that show, and you can tell that comic book cast was a great show, and it still is pretty good. They do a lot of great informational stuff. God, you guys are gonna tweet them that I'm trashing them or something like that. I really don't care at this point. But comic book cast was a great show. However, I think once Joel and Matt left, it took a dive, and I mean a huge, huge dive for me in quality. I think Joel and Matt were the best thing about that show, especially Joel. Joel did a lot of the reviews, and he was very informative. For those of you that don't know, I don't know what happened. I know they had a huge falling out or something like that, and then Joel decided to do his own YouTube channel. By the way, I recommend you do go check out Joel's YouTube channel, Cape Joel, and you do check out some of the stuff he's doing there, because he's really busting his ass to put out content every single day. I don't know how that guy puts out so much content in a single day, dude. I really don't, and I give that man so much respect, honestly, because I try to put out at least 4 videos a week, and I am struggling. Joel somehow is putting out about 3 videos a day. Respect, honestly, respect to that dude. Really, really big respect, and I have the utmost admiration for what that guy is doing right now. He's trying to build up his brand name after the events that happened with Comic Book Cast. And to be honest, I've always found Armin to be kind of an ass. I've said it. I've been in his Facebook group, and he just deliberately starts crap with his fans. I'm like, why? Why are you starting arguments with your fans? That doesn't make any sense to me. If anything, you are trying to win over your fans. Not saying you kiss up to your fans. I'm saying you deliberately start arguments with your fans. That is alienating your fans. And I've gone on a strange tangent here that I shouldn't. I know I shouldn't. I really shouldn't, and I'm probably going to get somewhat tweet from Comic Book Cast or something like that and some hatred from it. I really don't care. I'm not going to answer that one. Sorry, Harold. I'm going to skip that one. This may come, Tyler, this may come across as a dumb question, but I really want to start reading Preacher. Should I get the trade paperbacks for the first volume of the Absolute Edition? Every time that I get somebody that asks me, should I read Preacher? Every time I get that question is, should I read Preacher in trade paperback or should I read it in Absolute Edition? I always tell people, read the trade paperback. The reason behind that is that Preacher is not for everybody. Preacher is offensive. Preacher is Raw Preacher is in your face, and Preacher is not for everybody. Now, Preacher gets better in the second volume. So what I always tell people is pick up the first 2 volumes of Preacher, or pick up the first hardcover, see if you like it, and then if you do, make a decision from there. Hey, Harold. Have a good night, man. Take it easy. I dropped CBC after Armin's run of Luthor and Batman versus Superman. Yeah, I've never heard anything like that. Did I ever get the Superior Foes of Spider-Man omnibus? Yes. In fact, I have the Superior Foes of Spider-Man omnibus, and I want to review that. I might actually pick that up and review that this week. We'll see what happens. I'm still deciding what I'm going to review for this week. Usually, what ends up happening is that I will look at my bookshelf and I'll decide, have I reviewed this? Would this make a good review? Would people be interested in this? And I throw it up there, and then I record and review it. Have a good night, Harold. Should Scott Snyder's Batman get an omnibus in 2 volumes? I'm actually more interested in seeing Scott Snyder's Batman get an Absolute Edition. I think an Absolute Edition for Scott Snyder's Batman, it would be perfect. We got the Court of Owls. Why not put the rest of it in Absolute? Right? Why not put Death of the Family as an Absolute? Why not put the Endgame as an Absolute Edition? Why not put 0 Year as an Absolute Edition? All that stuff fits so perfectly for an Absolute Edition. OCMD's 350Z. You know you want to give me your BPRD Plague of Frogs Volume 3 hardcover. The price of that thing sucks. OCD is killing my gap. Yeah, man. I was so happy when I picked that up. Here's the thing about the Plague of Frogs Volume 3 hardcover. It's massively out of print. And if you can find it in the wild for a good price, you are extremely, extremely, extremely super freaking lucky for that. And I actually found it online when it was just about to go out of print. I was really, really questioning if I should pick up the hardcover editions of it, but I decided, you know what? These seem to be going out of stock really quick. Something in my gut is telling me it's going to be harder to find later on. So I pulled the trigger, and in one swoop, I ordered all 4 of the hardcovers, and I do not regret it at all. Am I hyped about AD with Snyder and Lemire? Absolutely. Scott Snyder and Jeff Lemire teaming up on something. Yeah, you could not ask for a better team up right now. Those 2 guys are on fire for me. I know Jeff Lemire's kind of dropped off a little bit in popularity lately, but to me, Jeff Lemire has still written some of the best Green Arrow comics that I've ever read. So I will absolutely give Jeff Lemire the benefit of the doubt on almost anything he writes. I'll give it a shot. Doesn't matter what it is. Do I go to Comic Cons? Yes. In fact, for those of you that are wondering, I may be at Tampa Bay Comic Con in October. Tampa Bay MegaCon, in October. And I think, now I've applied for it, and we'll see if I get it. Things are looking really great. I think that might be the first con where I will actually get a press pass, which will be awesome. Now, what a press pass exactly does, I'm not 100% sure, but what the hell, I applied for it and I shot for it, and apparently things are really looking good. I've been in talks with some of the people over there, and they seem to like what I'm doing, so we'll see what happens with that. And by the way, if anybody could ask me how to get a sponsorship with In-Stock Trades, that'd be great. I would love to do that. I would love to meet you guys too, man. By the way, for those of you that, if you ever see me at a con, if you ever see me like a grocery store, if you ever see me for some dumb reason, like if you're ever in the Orlando area and you see me like at a local comic shop, or if you ever see me out and about, please approach me. Please do. I'm really an approachable guy. I'm not going to bite your head off or anything like that. Just don't run up to me and go, oh my God, and freak me out a little bit. Just come up to me and say, hey, what's up, man? I know you from the YouTube channel. Is it cool if I talk to you for a few minutes? And yeah, most definitely, man. I am a very approachable guy, honestly. The way I always tell people that, and I don't want to blow my own head up because I have a few, 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. But the way I always tell people when they ask me, hey, have you ever met somebody off of YouTube? And I have actually. I met a few people from them knowing me off of YouTube. Is just approach me. Just approach me and talk to me. And I am super, super, super approachable, and I'll talk to you. I'm not going to bite your head off. A lot of people from Connecticut. Awesome, man. You went to Terrificon at Mohegan last weekend. How was that, man? I love going to cons. I am all about the con scene lately. I really do. I want to be able to attend more cons. I would love to be able to be like Comic Story and Comic Book Cat, not Comic Book Cast, Comic Story and Comics Explained, where they get paid to go to cons. Those guys are so lucky. What's your favorite Brian K. Vaughan comic besides Saga? Oh, hands down, it's a tie. It's either a tie between Y the Last Man or Ex Machina. Y the Last Man is great in terms of story and in terms of emotion and in terms of everything going on. Ex Machina is great in terms of an examination of the politics that are going on in the United States in a post 9/11 world, and how something like 9/11, if a superhero was around, would shape the events of a presidential election and would shape of the events of politics. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant examination. And I've been meaning to go back and read Ex Machina again, because I think it's one of the best things that Brian K. Vaughan has ever written, and it's really underrated in my opinion. I don't think it gets enough love. And I think that the reason behind that was because Ex Machina was going on at the same time, if I'm not mistaken, as Y the Last Man, and Y the Last Man finished, and Ex Machina was going on, but everybody was blown away so much by Y the Last Man, everybody loved Y the Last Man so much that Ex Machina never got the credit it deserved. Let's see. Favorite Magic character in comics? John Constantine. John Constantine is hands down my favorite Magic character in comics. Is he? Yeah, he's considered a Magic character. He is kind of a wizard in his own way. What's up, Nicholas? How's it going, buddy? Private Eye is good. Private Eye is very good, very very good. Yeah, I've read Private Eye, and I've recorded a review for Private Eye a few weeks ago, and I tossed it. Fun fact for a lot of you guys, by the way, I put in a lot of work into this YouTube channel, and sometimes I do reviews, and I hate the way the reviews come out, and I hate putting my name on something that isn't that great, because I can be a bit of an asinine perfectionist, that I scrapped the review completely, and I did not put it up. Which I'm going to be really honest with you, I kind of hate the setup right now that I have for my YouTube channels. Not that I'm not happy with how it is, because I am happy with how it's turning up, but I want to do so many other things, and I'm just so limited right now with finances and with the technology and things that I have right now, and I'm upgrading it slowly. If you guys have noticed, there's been a slow upgrade of things that I'm doing. Thoughts on the upcoming Black Panther film? I cannot wait. We got a little taste of that Black Panther film in the Civil War movie, and I am super, super excited. My girlfriend wasn't crazy about Black Panther in the movie. She said he was kind of weird considering his fighting style. She's not a big Black Panther fan, though, but, you know, it is what it is. I'm looking forward to it. I'm super excited for a Black Panther film, especially since we got a little taste of it. Can you read Garth Ennis's run of Hellblazer without reading Delano's? Absolutely. You can totally jump into Garth Ennis's run without reading Delano's. And in fact, I would actually say Garth Ennis's Garth Ennis's Hellblazer Constantine run is a much more accessible and a much more fun ride to read than Jamie Delano's prose heavy run. Now, there is something that I should note. Garth Ennis's Hellblazer run, while it's fantastic, this was Garth Ennis when he was first starting out, so he really didn't have his style down packed yet. He didn't really have what he was going to do yet as a complete total. He really didn't have his voice yet in comics, so he was still workshopping a lot of things. And if you read that run, you'll also read basically what would become Preacher later on. Garth Ennis's Hellblazer run is kind of proto-Preacher in some ways. Let's see. Do I have books of magic from Neil Gaiman? No, I don't have books of magic from Neil Gaiman. Do you find it easier to just record the dang vid and not over prepare? I have a channel, and after I did a few vids, I got over obsessed with overproducing it, trying to overcome. For me, I've been doing this. Oh God, I'm gonna sound like a pretentious ass. I've been doing this for 2 years now, and it's only now that I feel that I've kind of gotten my voice a little bit down, and it's only now that I feel like I've kind of gotten a flow for how I want things and how I want things produced. But for you starting out right now, if you're just starting out on your YouTube channel, my best advice is to workshop it out. do videos, workshop it out, find your voice, find your style, and the rest will just come to you as you go along. That's my advice right now. If you look at some of those older videos, oh God, please don't. But if you do look at some of my older videos when I was first starting out, I had no clue what the hell I was doing. But as the years went on and as time went on, I found my voice, I found my style, and I found how I can approach things, mainly because of the fact that I listen to fan feedback. A lot of people knock down fan feedback when it is actually your greatest resource when you're starting to create YouTube videos, because you can learn a lot from them. A lot of fans would tell me, look, I think you should light things a little bit better. I think you should show the art a little bit more. I think you should show the spine of the book more. I think you should show the special features more. I would get a lot of that stuff, and I would actually read it, and I would go, you know what? This person is right. This person gave me a great idea. Now, there's also the fan feedback that is negative. A lot of fan feedback can be just, oh, you suck. Why are you doing this? I've gotten a lot of negative fan feedback. Like lately, I've been doing reaction videos. I've been doing comic book origins. A lot of fan feedback that I've gotten from that has been, just stick to hardcovers. Just stick to that stuff. When the fact is, since I've been doing reaction videos, since I've been doing the comic book origins, I have gotten the most attention on my YouTube channel that I've ever gotten. So just, just workshop it out, dude. That's the best advice that I can give you. Keep creating content, and if it's good enough, and if you find your style and your voice enough, the fans will just come to you. And I know that was probably the most long-winded and pretentious answer that I could give you, but that's really, from a guy that only has like 5,000 subscribers going on 6,000 subscribers, that's the best advice that I could give you, man. OCMD 350Z. Not sure if I missed the answer. If so, ignore. Do you have any special way of keeping track of what goes out of print, up in price? No boy. Notice Hellboy Library 5 is going on. The best way that I've noticed, there's two ways. One, I follow the Comic Book Resources Omnibus forum. I follow that religiously. I look like every day, at least I check it out at least twice a day, and they're usually pretty up to date on that. And I also am in Riley Moore's Omnibus collection group on Facebook. I absolutely recommend you check that out. It's a great group where a lot of people are selling and trading omnibuses for a great price, and they are usually always on point with the stuff that's going out of print and with the stuff that's being sold right now. So I really recommend that you get into that and you check that out. That's the best way for me. That's how I find out when something is about to go out of print, and usually those guys are on top of it. They'll be like, hey, look, In Stock Trades is saying this is out of print, so is Cheap Graphic Novels. However, Amazon still has a few copies of this that you can go buy. Oh, absolutely. Shout out to the Omnibus Collectors group. Man, those guys are awesome. Those guys are awesome. By the way, for those of you that are out there, I may have something lined up for you guys in the coming weeks that's going to be really fun from that group. I won't disclose it yet because nothing's set in stone, but I've got something lined up. So it's going to be real fun. Nation, I tried to join the Facebook group and my request has said pending for 2 months. Huh, that's odd. Well, I don't know. We'll see. You and the Omnibus Collector should do a live Skype chat. We'll see. Maybe. We'll see what happens. A series that shouldn't have ended so fast. Let me think. What's a series that shouldn't have... Man, I would have loved to have gotten a lot more Superior Foes of Spider-Man. Oh, man. Superior Foes of Spider-Man would be great. If it was just I could read like 30 more issues of Superior Foes of Spider-Man and never get tired. What's up, film artist? Have you read Berserk manga series? I have not. I have not read the Berserk manga series. I've heard great things. I've wanted to read Berserk for a long time, man. I've really wanted to get into Berserk. I've heard great things about it, and I know that Dark Souls takes a lot of inspiration from it. All my friends tell me you should read Berserk, but it's completely messed up, and it will just like, woof, it'll really mess you up. What's up, Nerd Vision? Which Avengers titles should I pick up from Paris Paracella? Avengers titles that you should pick up. Oh man, I'm thinking. Let me think. I'm not a big Avengers guy, but if you're looking for some really fun Avengers comics, I always point to people to read The Ultimates by Mark Millar. It's out of continuity, and it's set in the Ultimate Universe. But yeah, I recommend you absolutely pick that up. Do I feel Image is killing it right now? Tokyo Ghost, Black Science, the goddamn low, deadly class. Absolutely, Image is killing it right now. But Image has also been on a slump financially in terms of comic book sales lately, and that seems to be across the board with everybody except for DC right now. But comic book sales for this month not for this month, for this year have actually kind of seen a low from the previous years, and a lot of retailers and a lot of comic book fans are really worried about that, because it seems like there might be a bit of fatigue going on in the industry, and the Image boom that was a few years ago has finally started to kind of peter out a little bit more. It seems that what's happening, at least in my opinion, is the Image has too many great titles at the moment, to the point where it is impossible to actually keep up with everything that Image is doing at the moment, to the point where it's kind of eating itself. Do you like Daredevil Season 1 or Season 2 more? And do you think that in Season 3 the plot will be like the Born Again comic? That's from Azio. I actually like Season 2 more. I wish we got a little bit more Punisher in it, because whenever the Punisher wasn't in Daredevil Season 2, I kept asking myself, ooh, man, I'm all over the place. Where was the Punisher? That's what I kept asking myself. I was like, where was the Punisher? Where's the Punisher? I want to see the Punisher in this. The Punisher was great. And then it feels like Daredevil Season 2 is split into two halves. It feels like you have the Punisher half, and then you have the post-Punisher half, where the Punisher kind of takes a backseat to everything. And I was a little bit disappointed in that, but overall, I think pacing-wise, Daredevil Season 2 holds up really well, and I like it a little bit more, mainly because of that. Remender and Opeña are releasing a new book. Is that true? Is Remender really releasing a new book with Jerome Opeña? Oh man, I can't wait. I didn't even know he was doing something like that. Oh, that's gonna be fantastic. If you've never read Rick Remender and Jerome Opeña's Uncanny X-Force run, do so. Do so. It is probably some of the best X-Men comics that have been written in the past 10 years. Jerome Opeña's art is gorgeous in it. I would love to see him do the entire Uncanny X-Force arc, but we didn't get that. Pick up Uncanny X-Force. It is fantastic. On the team, you have Deadpool, Phantom X, Wolverine, Psylocke, Archangel, and you have a whole host of other characters that keep showing up later on in the series, and it is awesome. It's so great. I love Uncanny X-Force, and I love the concept of bringing back Apocalypse and the state that he comes back in. I'm not going to ruin it here, but it is so great, man. Rick Remender killed it with that, and he picked just the right characters to mix together for an X-Force team. It's coming out in September. Wow, I didn't know his new book was coming out in September. Mo Baby 1979. There shouldn't be fatigue. The current runs are just crazy good. And you're talking about the image stuff. I'm not entirely sure it's fatigue, more so that there's too much of a good thing. You can have too much of a good thing where there's so much out there that people just go, I don't even know what to pick up anymore. It's just too much. I'm not going to pick up anything new because what I have right now is enough. And I think that might be the case. As weird as it sounds, I think that might be the case where Image is at the moment. No way you can finish the first issue of X-Force and not want to read more of it, by Nicholas Munoz. Oh, absolutely, man. There is no way you can get through that first issue of Uncanny X-Force. And when you hit that last page and you realize who they have to assassinate, because they are a hit squad, you just go, they are not going to go that far with this. It is so great. And Remender plays with that trope of, is it right to destroy something because something evil can happen later on? And we're seeing that same trope right now in Civil War II, but I think Remender does it so much better. Yeah, the Uncanny X-Force Omnibus is crazy expensive right now. It's been out of print. A lot of the X-Force stuff is out of print right now, and the Uncanny X-Force Omnibus went out of print with within maybe like 3 months, 2, 3 months. So if you didn't pick it up then, it was gone. Oh man, it was completely gone. Do I play Overwatch? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yeah, if you want to read Uncanny X-Force, the easiest way to find it right now is definitely get the Ultimate Collections, even though I think the second Ultimate Collection, if I'm not mistaken, is out of print. I have the original hardcovers that came out a few years ago, and I wouldn't sell them at all unless I knew for a fact that I was getting the omnibus. Moo Baby just finished Fatale hardcover volume 1. Now I'm dying to read the second hardcover, which I also have, Locked and Loaded. Fatale is great. Oh man, if you want to read something that is Cthulhu-like and it's set in the 20s and leads up all the way to the 1950s, pick up Fatale. Man, such a great read, dude. Why does Bendis write everything? Because Bendis for a while was the golden boy for Marvel, and it seems like he's kind of been stuck in that position where he is still the golden boy at Marvel, despite what a lot of readers think. And Bendis can write pretty much whatever the hell he wants because he did Daredevil, he did a few events, he did Avengers, and say what you want about Bendis, but you know his books sell. A lot of the books that he writes, they sell, and people still want that old school classic Bendis when he was writing Daredevil and he was at the top of his writing peak, and he just doesn't hit the same notes as he used to. I personally think Bendis is, and I don't know him, I really don't know him, but I'm personally of the opinion that I think Bendis is kind of in a bit of a writing slump right now, and I really don't like what he's doing too much at the moment. Fade Out is really good. I've read the first 6 issues of Fade Out, and I pretty much said, you know what, I'm going to stop here. I want to get this in a nice, oversized collection. Do I think Bendis writes solo character books better than team books? Absolutely. Absolutely. Just look at his Daredevil run. I think Bendis' Daredevil run is great, but he's a stronger writer and he has a better voice for those crime books and those crime characters, and he writes better single characters. White beard. I love Alan Moore's majestic beard. So do I. It's something about Alan Moore's beard that it's just transfixing. You know, it flows in the wind, and you know Alan Moore gets a lot of hate, but I think he would make a great third member for ZZ Top. Yeah, he should cosplay as ZZ Top. Alan Moore, if you're watching this for some reason, please don't cast any magic spells on me because I know you have that ability. Oh yeah, his alias. His alias is great. He knocked it out of the park with his alias. Yeah, he's bringing back Jessica Jones. However, a lot of people forget that Brian Michael Bendis also wrote the post-alias story Pulse, and it wasn't as strong, man. It's true. Alan Moore's power is in his beard, and in fact, when you anger Alan Moore, he sets his beard to attack other people. It's a very, very scary thing, and I've seen it in person. In fact, I'm pretty sure he sent it a few times to attack some people at DC Comics. Forgarelli, Alan Moore is the only true genius in comics. I'm going to disagree in that, man. There's a lot of great comic book artists out there. I would say Darwyn Cooke was a genius in comics. Is the female Green Lantern in Rebirth great? I love it. I actually love the concept, man. I think she's a great Green Lantern. I love what they're doing with the character. Oh wow, yeah. You want to talk about fan casting? Live to Rock. I would love to see more on Hellblazer. Man, I would love to see Alan Moore tell a Hellblazer story. How great would that be, man? Oh my goodness. How great would that be? And block. Second time I've had to block somebody. Do I like Lil Wayne or Fetty Wap? No, I don't. Do I read any self-published comic books? I actually read a few. Rachel Rising by Terry Moore was great. I was sad to see that end, but it was such a great ending. I was a bit rushed, but I thought that was great. Very Near Mint is hilarious. It's done by Justin Peterson, who, if you've ever been to, Tijuana Flats, in one of those restaurants. He does all the art in that, and he's got his own comic called Very Near Mint that is a satire on everything that is going on in comics right now. It's 3 volumes in, and he mostly kickstarts it to get his money for it, but it's really, really great. Shout out to my man Justin Peterson. He's a really cool dude. I've met him at a few cons before. Really great guy. Really great guy. Oh, yeah. I keep forgetting that Alan Moore did create John Constantine. Yeah. I would actually love to see him continue with the character. Did I snag the black version of Rachel Rising? No, I didn't. Mainly because of the fact that I didn't see a need for me to upgrade. I have all the trade paperbacks of Rachel Rising, and while I did enjoy the story and I did enjoy his writing on it and his art on it, I wasn't that huge of a fan enough that I would go out and double dip on it. Now, I've seen some pictures of it, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. And I'm not entirely sure if it comes with any special features or anything, but it wasn't anything that was on my radar right away, especially now that I have to be a bit more choosy. I have to pick what I'm going to read and what I'm going to buy lately because there's a lot of expenses that are happening at the moment, and I can't just spend money like crazy like I used to be able to. How do you think, dude? Okay. Have I ever seen the coqui in Puerto Rico? My dad said he saw them whenever he was a kid. Yeah, you can still see them, dude. The coqui is the national frog of Puerto Rico. We have a frog for our national anthem, for those of you that are wondering. Kirkman trolled us when he did the Invincible reboot. I haven't read it. I'm planning to re-pick up Invincible once the series is finished. Do I have a Patreon yet? I'm working on it. I really am. You know what? Since you guys are up right now, you guys get a little bit of inside tidbit. Why don't you give me some ideas real quick of what you would like to see in a Patreon video? I'm being dead serious. I want to know what you guys would see in a Patreon video because if I want to create content that you guys are going to be paying for, and I want to create exclusive content, I need to know what you guys want. Because that's where the biggest problem that I'm having right now, where I'm struggling to come up with ideas that are exclusive for Patreon that you guys would like to see. Because if you guys are giving me your hard-earned cash, if you do decide to contribute to my Patreon, and I want you to get your money's worth because it's hard out there, and money isn't, and not everybody has a lot of money at the moment. While I can't afford to commit, I think fans would like to see you teach judo moves. Wow, that was actually an idea that my girlfriend's father told me that I should start teaching like jiu-jitsu moves and start demonstrating that stuff. I'm up to it, actually. Yes, Mobe. Oh man, when Sean Murphy steps in for All-Star Batman, when he steps in for All-Star Batman, I think that would be great. Oh man, I think that's going to be awesome. By the way, Sean Murphy is actually doing his own Batman story next year. He posted it on his Twitter. What's up, PodMax? Who do you think needs to write a certain series? Who would write a certain series? How about if Hickman did New Gods? How great would it be if you take Jonathan Hickman and you put him in the DC New Gods stuff? Oh, absolutely, man. Yeah, the Deadpool minibus is coming to you soon. How great would Hickman be on New Gods? Enjoy that, dude. You think I should grow an Alan Moore beard for Patreon? You know, I would, but the beard doesn't come in that well, man. It's patchy. Oh my gosh, oof. It is not a pretty thing once I start getting the beard, man. I'm telling you right now. I want to tell you guys so much who the special guest that I have lined up for, but it's not 100% certain that we're gonna do it yet. We're still working things out. He's already agreed to do it. We just have to work things out and work the time out. So I'm super excited for that. That's going to be really fun. An artist I would like to see on Daredevil. I'd like to see Sean Murphy on Daredevil. I think Sean Murphy would kill it on Daredevil. I would have also liked to have seen the late Darwyn Cooke on Daredevil. Jerome Pena would be great on Daredevil. He's one of those artists that I think would absolutely kill it. But my number one go-to right now, especially seeing how he's sketched a lot of Batman stuff, I would love, love, love to see Sean Murphy write and illustrate a Daredevil story right now. I think it would be great. Yeah, Sean Murphy should draw everything. I agree. All right, guys, I'm going to be on for about another 5 minutes. I've been doing this for a bit of an hour, and this was kind of a last-minute thing. Next stream will be Thursday, though. So fire off your questions right now, and I will try to get to them. If I could write comics for one publisher, who would I choose? Image, mostly because I get the rights and I get the money for stuff, for the most part. And we've seen how bad the rights issue goes with DC and Marvel lately. David Aja. Oh, man. Yeah, that's an good choice. David Aja on Daredevil. After seeing what he did with Hawkeye, yeah, the only thing that I would be concerned with is the schedule, because David Aja. Now, I don't know if it was Matt Fraction's doing or if it was David Aja's doing, but David Aja, he's not an artist that puts work out on time. At least that's what we saw with the Hawkeye series. And I don't know this for a fact, I'm kind of believing that it might have been more so Matt Fraction than David Aja, because what we're seeing right now is that Matt Fraction's output of work has been not as frequent as it normally is. So I don't know what's going on with the guy, but he's just not putting stuff out as much as he used to. What's my next review? Haven't decided yet. I'm still deciding what it's going to be. How I do reviews is that I usually sit down Monday or Tuesday and I decide what I'm going to do for that week. And I either reread it if I have enough time, or it's something that I've read in the past week and I decided to review it. All right, guys, 3 more minutes. 3 more minutes. I work in the morning. Aja did a mini story on Brubaker's run. I don't remember David Aja doing a mini story during Brubaker's run. Damn, I should go back and read that. It's been years since I've read a Brubaker's run on Daredevil. Mo Baby, I have a frame page from Sean Gordon Murphy on Tokyo Ghost. It's something I'd grab in a fire. Do you like the idea of collecting art? Absolutely. I have a sketch of Akira from I have a custom-made sketch from. Why am I blanking on the artist's name right now? Oh my gosh, I'm having a brain fart at the moment. Scotty Young. It's late, guys. I have an artist sketch, and I paid for it, of Scotty Young, and he did Akira. He did Tetsuo for me, and it's awesome, man. I should have played El Diablo. I agree. I should cosplay as El Diablo. I've got the head for it. The only thing is I'm not Mexican. I'm Puerto Rican. Two more minutes, guys. I'm really getting tired. I love doing this, by the way. I'm telling you right now, the next one is going to be Thursday. Thursday is going to be the next one. The next video that's going to go up is, I know a lot of you aren't watching it, but I've said that I'm going to do it, so I'm committing to it. The next video is going to be of Destruction for Comic Book Beginnings, and that's going to be going up either tomorrow or Tuesday. And then we'll see what else the week has. Yo hablo español, si yo hablo español. Eso fue el primer lenguaje que yo aprendí. For those of you that are wondering, I speak Spanish. I just said yes, I do. That's the first language I've ever learned. Are the Hellboy Library editions going out of print? I only have the first 2. I had heard some of them are going out of print, but what's ended up happening in the past is that they go out of print, and Dark Horse is pretty good with keeping that stuff in print. So I'm super excited to. Oh, for those of you that are wondering, apparently in the Omnibus Facebook group, somebody was able to talk to Mike Mignola, and he actually posted the conversation. And we are, in fact, getting hardcover editions of Plague of Frogs, not Plague of Frogs, of Hell on Earth, and we are getting hardcover editions of Abe Sapien. So for those of you that are wondering, yes, we are getting hardcover editions of that stuff. Now, when we get it, we don't know. That's the question. Now, when we get it, we don't know, but we'll see. Have I ever gotten a library edition of Conan by Dark Horse? No, I haven't. Eddie Tosado, I'm kind of iffy on Mignola's art. Will it grow on me? You know what? I was the same way too. I was very iffy on Mike Mignola's art when I first started reading comics because it threw me off his style. As the years went on, though, and I'm not saying this will happen to you. No, art is very subjective. A lot of people like Rob Liefeld's art for whatever hell reason. I don't know why, but a lot of people like it. But Mike Mignola's art is very simplistic to the point that it is deceptively so. But he does a lot of stuff with shadows, a lot of stuff with dark inking, and a lot of stuff with blacks that a lot of people don't notice. And he sets the pace and the tone in a lot of that stuff so well that once I started developing my interest and my taste in comic books, I went back and read Hellboy, and I decided, wow, this art is fantastic. Now, a lot of people say that the art that was done by Duncan Fegredo later on in stuff like the Wild Hunt for Hellboy is a lot better. And while it is great, it's absolutely great. What I ended up noticing on my second read through of the Hellboy series was that I actually missed Mike Mignola's simpler, more dark style than what Duncan Fegredo ended up doing. Hand-to-hand combat between Daredevil and Batman, who would win, in my opinion? It's a tough one. I'm gonna give it to Daredevil. Yeah, I'm gonna give it to the old Hornhead. Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you enjoyed the story and you weren't crazy on the art, I absolutely. If you didn't see my review for the library editions this week, I absolutely recommend go check out my review for the library editions. Absolutely, go check out that stuff. Man, I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate later on for trashing CBC earlier on in this podcast. In this stream, I know somebody's gonna hate on me for it. I know it's coming. What's a good noir style comic to get into, like 30s crime style? Fatale. Blacksad, great choice. Blacksad is great. Blacksad is gonna throw you off a little bit though because you're gonna think, you're gonna see Blacksad and you're gonna see the art and go, what is this, furry crap? I know that's what's gonna end up happening. Yeah, you're right, Eddie. Well, thanks, Eddie. Yeah, I know if somebody's gonna get pissed at me and probably tweet Armin or something like that. It's all right. Yeah, I don't ever plan to work with him, and I probably won't now after this. Let me think. Basically, anything Brubaker. Anything Brubaker is great for crime noir comics. Yeah, Blacksad is going to throw you off when you first start seeing it because you're going to look at the art and go, what the hell is this? Is this furry crap that you wanted me to read? But read it. It's so great, and the art is incredible. The art in Blacksad is really the main draw, and the stories are great. They are great, but the art on it is insane. You know what? That's probably going to be my review for this week. I think I've just found my review for this week. I think I'm going to review the first hardcover of Blacksad. That'll probably be what I do this week. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not sold on it, but I'm leaning towards that now after this because I think a lot of people should be picking that up. Yeah, it's just anthropomorphic animals, but the fact is that a lot of people see anthropomorphic animals and they automatically think, oh, this is furry crap. That's pretty much what they think. Oh, this is furry, like, internet crap. And there's a lot more going on to Blacksad than you would think. Yeah, please do. Please, guys, go look up some of the art from Blacksad right now. It is amazing. It really is. And I think the artist on Black Sad, if I'm not mistaken, was actually an animator for Disney for a long time. Which Hellboy library is my favorite? I really enjoyed the first two so far. Man, they are all so great. They are all so great. I'm gonna give it to the Wild Hunt. I love the Wild Hunt. Thoughts on the Omega Men? I just picked up the trade and I read a few. I get paid this week and I'm gonna be picking up the trade for Omega Men. Do I like Emma Rios' art? Yeah, she's really great. She's a very, very strong artist. I love her style. She's got a real unique take to her art. All right, guys, that's going to be it for me tonight. I have to get up for work in the morning. The next stream will be Thursday. Look at for some of my other content that's coming out this week. Like I said, I'm going to be doing I'm going to finish my Sandman series. I know a lot of people aren't watching it, but I don't care because I've committed to it and I'm going to finish off that damn series. So I'm going to finish up my Sandman series. The next video is going to be on Destruction. Look out for the other stuff that I'm going to be doing. If any trailers come out this week that are noteworthy, I'm going to be checking that out. So yeah, look out for some of the other stuff. And this week's review will be posted up on Friday, like always. And I'm going to continue to work on the Patreon stuff. And yeah, I've got some stuff lined up. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for checking this out. Love ya. Bye.